Welcome to Purposely Peaceful. I'm your host, Jessica Rivera, a licensed marriage and family therapist and a quantum hypnosis practitioner. This podcast is where real life meets inner peace. You'll get honest conversations, practical tools, and soulful guidance to help you live with more clarity, calm, and purpose. Hello, friends. I'm so excited to be back. I took an unexpected break for, I think, most of December. I don't even know when my last episode was. It's been a minute. And one of the reasons that I took a break was I was just in desperate need of rest. I was feeling a little tired, like I just couldn't keep up with everything that I needed to do. And I made the executive decision to take a break and just focus on taking it slow, allowing for life to unfold a little bit naturally. I didn't work as much. I did take a couple weeks off of work. It was an interesting process because I hadn't had a break like that since our road trip in July. But as you know, a road trip is busy, full, jam-packed with things that we were doing. And so time was flying by. In this instance, I was home with the kids, just dealing with the daily stuff. It was kind of hard, only because I felt like I wasn't grounded. I felt like I had no direction. I really did need that quality time with them. Slower mornings where we can cuddle a little more and take it easy and there's no rush out the door. And so I did really soak it up, but I didn't feel grounded. I felt really disorganized, not sure what to do. And so, I would cook and clean and do things with the kids. It was really interesting. And this episode isn't so much about needing rest. I think if you do need it, go for it. If you can have some slower mornings, I highly recommend it. But this episode is more about using the new year or the end of the year to reset expectations and look for opportunities that maybe you missed in the year prior. And so when I look back at 2025, it was a very productive year. This is the year that I launched the podcast. It was something that I had been suppressing for a really long time. And when I finally was like, hey, everybody, I did it. It was like I unlocked this different part of myself where I'm doing something that was for me, but it really isn't just for me. There's this benefit of helping people, of making a difference. And I'm always so moved when you message me and tell me how something impacted you. I just want to help whoever's listening. That is the whole intention, is that I just want to help. If I can offer just a little bit of insight, if I could say just one little thing that could help, why wouldn't I do that? That's what this podcast has been about. It's about helping people see that there's peace in every situation. And I know that sometimes the world tells us differently, that there are problems, there are concerns, there's unfairness in the world, there is a lot of violence in the world. And although those things may be true, it isn't the only thing that exists in this world. There is so much goodness. There is so much love. There is so much community. There is so much opportunity. And using the new year as an anchor to decide, okay, what happened in the year prior that I didn't love? What happened that I did love? And what do I want to do differently for 2026? And although I had highlights and good moments in 2025, it was actually a really hard year. Emotionally, it was just tough because we moved back to our home state and it's just not been easy or super straightforward. What we thought was going to happen did not happen. And we had to go back to the drawing board, causing some delays in the next phase of our journey, which is okay. We didn't enjoy the process of being here and things not turning out how we had hoped. And so there was a lot of disappointment in 2025. There was a lot of frustration in 2025. And that time off that I had in December really helped me just process, like, what did I just experience? Yes, there were these highlights, but there are also these hard parts. And what do I need to change? Because I don't want to be in 2026 being miserable or having a hard time or resisting the path. Yeah, maybe we had to pivot our plan. It's okay. We've done that plenty of times before. Why can't we do it again? And I do want to preface that you don't have to set New Year's goals or New Year's intentions to set the tone for the year. You don't have to do that. However, as someone who is a natural planner, a goal setter, I do these things, and I do think they help. I do think it helps to have goals. I think it helps to have intentions, but I cannot be attached to them. And so if you're going to set them, don't get attached to the point where it causes disappointment, because that's not the point. The point is that you've set a goalpost and you're like, I am moving my way there. And if it gets a little delayed, so be it. And I think I'm a little gracious in that way, where I'm okay. I can maneuver. I can have some hard days, but I can get back on that horse and be positive about it. I can't speak for everybody in my family, but it's harder for others. And so I really want to say any day is a good day to set goals. Any day is a good day to set intentions. It could be in January, it could be in March, it could be during the summer, or it could be whenever you feel like it. The reason that I'm saying that is because people get attached to the New Year's. Like, oh, like I set these goals in January and I'm so tired. It's not working out. It's March. And then I get defeated and then I'm kind of beating myself up and I'm being hard on myself. Don't do that. That's something that gets you nowhere. That actually brings you back into that cycle that you were trying to get away from in the first place. Instead, let's just say you want to go work out a few times per week. You're doing mostly pretty good, and then March rolls around and something happens and you get distracted and it takes some of your energy and you're just too tired or you're having a hard time, so you don't work out. If that happens, just use it as a reset point. Maybe I could do 2 times per week, and maybe instead of the evening, I do the mornings. Be flexible to adjust and to pivot when you need it. And this episode isn't really about New Year's resolutions, but I do want to talk about the opportunity to use the new year as the opportunity to be the new you, to improve in all the ways that you want to, and then go to the drawing board if it doesn't work and try again. I know a lot of people get discouraged with New Year's goals because it's hard to keep the momentum, and that is true. It is hard. Life is very demanding. We are all very, very busy people. We don't have a lot of free time. And so what we do with the free time we have is extremely valuable. That's why I was having a conversation with my son and I was reminding him time is way more valuable than anything else, because you can't renew time. You only get a day. And so what are you going to do with today? How are you going to use your time in a way that not only supports you, but helps you? A lot of what I see is that a lot of us, and I'm part of this too, we get stuck in the monotony of life. We get stuck in the routine of what we do. We wake up, we go to work, we get the paycheck, we go home. We do whatever it is that we need to do to pass the time. For some people, it's video games, watching TV, binging on TV shows, all kinds of stuff, right? And it's not bad, but is it fruitful? Are these things that we're doing, are they giving back to us? When we distract ourselves with video games, movies, shows, bad habits, unhealthy habits, these produce some level of dopamine, like some happy feelings in your brain, and you feel good. It feels good to do those things. However, I like to challenge people here a little bit. Those are external ways of getting dopamine. And I do think that a lot of society has become that way. We put the Band-Aid on certain things by buying something, going to do something, distracting ourselves. And that's fine. We can do that. That's perfectly okay. But I wouldn't say those are the healthy dopamine ways. What I like about goal setting or working on ourselves, I think that's healthy dopamine. That means that when I work on myself, I feel good. I feel good that I did that. I feel good that I journaled. I feel good that I meditated for 5 minutes. I feel good that I did some breath work. I feel good that I went on a walk. The reward that I get is internal, and so it's a healthy dopamine. I'm patting myself on the back for these healthy things that I'm doing that are allowing me to move forward. I want to go backwards a little bit to how I was before I even started this show. I was, and I still am, kind of a nervous person, but not like I was. I had a lot of anxiety for several years because I was suppressing what I wanted to do. I kept telling myself like, no, like that's not for you. You're not good enough. There's already so many amazing shows out there. Like, what are you going to do that's any different? And really, it was just my ego talking myself out of this thing because it was scary, right? It's scary to go put yourself out there and to have people hear what you have to say, and they can judge you, they can talk bad about you, they can do whatever they want with it. They can accuse you of whatever. And so it's one of those things where I had to understand that that is possible. Those things can happen, but the need or the feeling of wanting to share or wanting to be of service, wanting to help, felt so much stronger than my anxiety that at some point I had to give in. And I mean, there's a whole story behind how it naturally unfolded, which I'll spare you. But what I'm saying is that I hesitated a lot. I wasn't allowing myself the opportunity to dream about how good would it feel for you to go do that? How good would it feel to go express yourself? I couldn't connect the dots because I hadn't done it. I wasn't sure about how do I want to come across? How do I want to sound? What do I want to say? What am I even going to talk about? And so there's all these different factors and things that I had to go through. But once I finally did it, and this is the point that I'm trying to drive home here. Once I finally did it and I released those episodes and I posted it online and I said, hey, you guys, I did this thing. Here it is. I felt so much anxiety for a split second, but then I felt so much relief, like this incredible amount of these happy chemicals in our brain. But I felt so good deep down inside, like profoundly happy, a sense of relief because I finally did this thing. Like I did it. Like I figured out how to record an episode, how to edit one, what I wanted to say, and then I put it out there. It's one of those situations where no one could have done this for me. Not a TV show, not a movie, not alcohol, not anything. There was nothing externally that could provide me this feeling of feeling so good. I genuinely enjoy doing it, and it kind of blows my mind a little bit because I'm like, why? But it does. It's just something that I feel drawn to do. And so I'm doing it and I'm going with it and I'm winging it sometimes. And it's okay. Like I'm figuring it out as I go. And I just want to encourage you, if you're ever at a point where you're like, I want to do this, but like, does it even make sense? It doesn't need to make sense. I think what matters is that you feel drawn to do something. You feel this peak of interest saying, what if I do this? What if I do that? What if I go here? What if I learn about this one thing that I heard about the other day? Or so-and-so said something and I've been thinking about it ever since. To me, those are your clues. Those are the clues that you pick up and you say, okay, well, let me go look into it. What I'm really trying to say is that having these things that are nudging you are very much part of your path. And I think sometimes we look at our lives and we're like, how am I going to pull that off? And I think that's the fun of it. I think this is where you make life a little bit of a game and you're like, okay, I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to schedule that time in, but I'm going to try. And this is what I like about setting intentions and setting goals. And so an intention is something that you intend to do. For example, in my case, I want to be more action oriented this year. That means if I have an idea, I should act on it. If I'm like, hey, I need to wash those dishes, I should act on it. Hey, I have this episode idea, write it down. I'm a planner, and because I like to plan, I'm like, oh, I have this idea. I'm going to do it on Thursday at 12. It's kind of funny because I miss the window of momentum. And there's these points where we have like, oh yeah, that's so exciting. I want to do that. That's momentum. Use it. Use it for the intended purpose of the thing that you want to do. Because sometimes maybe you only had 5 minutes to go off on a search about something. That's one of my intentions, is to be action oriented. The other is to have more gratitude. I really, really want to have a better practice of gratitude. And I don't have to do it for 30 minutes a day. It could be a few seconds where I really sit in gratitude. Like sometimes when I'm waiting for a client to get on a call, I might have 30 seconds, a minute. I'm usually running late, but usually if I have a few seconds to spare, I will soak in that gratitude of how lucky I am to work from home, how lucky I am to have the time to create something. I just kind of go down that path, like how lucky am I to have a roof over our head? How lucky am I to have a pantry full of food? That's what I want to do more of. And I want to meditate on gratitude, on this emotion that I feel in my body. How does gratitude feel in your body. A couple minutes per day, in little moments across your day. That's something that I really want to do because I want to attract more goodness in my life. And I feel like that's one of the ways that we do it. One of my goals is I want to have a weekly episode. But if I miss a week or 2 or 3, I'm not going to beat myself up. Because if I'm not doing it weekly, it's because something came up. It could be I got sick. It could be my kids were sick. It could be all kinds of stuff. And I need to be okay with giving myself that wiggle room, that grace to get through it and just say, it's okay. I didn't get around to it. It's all good. I did all these other things and that counts too. And when I have time, I will. And then I just pick up from where I left off. That's it. Just like this episode. Something that I've learned in 2025 is I started working on the bigger goals, but what I didn't do is I didn't work on the smaller goal that I needed in order to even build out and use the bigger goals. I've basically set myself back because I worked on setting something so big that I can't even really work on it. I can run ideas, I can do certain things, but I can't put it together without this one component. Anyway, long story short, I feel like I don't know how to explain this, but now I just need to focus on the smaller things that I need to do so that I can actually make progress toward the big goal. And so that's a little bit of the reworking that I'm doing this year for 2026 is I cannot have just a big goal. I need to have smaller, digestible, applicable goals so that I can actually make some change, so that I actually know where to focus my energy. Because what I was doing before, and a lot of people do this, is like I set 5 goals for the year and I'm trying to work on all 5 all at once. In my situation, I'm not able to execute all my goals all at once. So that's just something for you to keep in mind when you set goals and you're like, I want to accomplish this. Okay, do that. But at the same time, make sure that you know what's the first thing that I need to do to even make it happen. And that's just me imparting a little bit of my wisdom of what I've learned in the last year or so about goals. And I do want to highlight it's okay to have your goals shift and change. It's okay for you to have your intentions shift and change with you. Because as the year goes on, and as you all know, life is full of unexpected surprises sometimes, and you don't know exactly how things are going to pan out. And that's the fun of it. It's like, oh, I thought this year was going to be like this, but then it turned out completely different and I need to pivot. Life is constantly about adjusting and maneuvering and figuring it out. And so have fun with it. I see a lot of people get really, really defeated when they're like, but I was trying to do this and it didn't work out and now I don't even want to, or I don't even want to try. What's the point? And when we feel like that, it's okay, right? We can have a moment like that, but we don't want to stay there. And I do say that a lot. You don't want to get stuck in feelings like that. You just want to give yourself permission to be like, okay, it didn't work. It's fine. What do I got to do differently? Just go back to the drawing board. Where do I got to pivot? What do I need to change? Maybe I need more sleep. Maybe I need to get up earlier. Be solution oriented. I think a lot of people get stuck in what doesn't work. Then we're stuck in this loop that we can't get out of. I want to encourage you guys to have a sense of direction of where you hope to be, because I do think that that is the motivation and part of how we build the momentum to make things happen, to accomplish goals, to set these intentions and be like, am I embodying the intention that I want to carry in 2026? And I'm excited for this year. I'm a little nervous for this year, but in a good way. My goals are really big, and part of how I keep my momentum is sometimes I keep them to myself. I don't go tell everybody what I'm doing. And the reason that I do that is because sometimes I'm still creating and imagining, and the last thing I need is when I go share it with somebody and they're looking at me like, sure. And not that I get that face a lot, but yeah, I have definitely gotten that face from people. And so part of that is just protecting myself and the dreams that I have and what I hope to accomplish. And then when I do, I can be like, yeah, I was planning that for like this whole year or for several years or whatever the case. Earlier, when I said this podcast, it's for me. Think about it in your life. What are you doing for you? Like if you're anxious and maybe public speaking makes you really nervous, and then you go and you do it. And I'm like, hey, you did that. It was only 30 seconds. It was only a minute, but you did it. Like, do you feel that relief? Good. Because you might feel it again when you go do the next thing and then the next thing. I'm at the point where I find this so fun. that I'm like, I wish I could do 2 episodes per week. But to be honest, I don't even think I could pull that off logistically. So I'm just not going to do that right now. Maybe there might be some future miracle weeks out there that I might be able to pull it off. But you know what? It's okay. I'm happy with almost weekly. And I am trying to be a lot kinder to myself in 2026. And all good things, if they're meant to be, they will circle back. I told my best friend this the other day. There's no such thing as a missed opportunity. If it's meant for you, it'll circle back and there will be another chance or opportunity for you to try it. And it's up to you if you want to go for it. What's that thing that makes you maybe a little nervous, but you're like, maybe I want to do that. Maybe I want to do more of that. Maybe I want to show people how to cook. Maybe I want to do reels and simplify how someone makes something. Maybe I want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe I want to read 50 books this year, which is a very ambitious goal. I wish I could read that many books. I'm just throwing random things at you at this point. But all in all, I encourage you to have some sense of direction. And by having some sense of direction, it might look like having goals. It might look like having intentions. And any day is a good day to set them. It doesn't have to be New Year's. It doesn't have to be some special occasion. It could be whenever you feel like it or whenever you're inspired. That's all it takes. And I just want to say that I'm so happy to be back. I didn't realize how grounding recording episodes was until I had this last holiday break. And I realized this is important to me. Part of my own mental well-being is sitting with myself and thinking, what do I want to say? What do I want to share? And the fact that you're listening means the world to me. And I just want to say thank you. I'm so excited for 2026. I hope to keep this momentum going, hopefully for the rest of the year. But if not, that's how life goes. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much for listening.